does not the totality of the souls make? So I'm concerned about the whole cookie. I'm concerned about the in your writing, so I'm going to wait until I hear from you.
All right, stay out of trouble. All right,
You
I
stopped
am back.
typing. I'm sad. I was waiting to find out the answer. Oh, there you go. I guess I'm concerned with what it is either in the player or the character that believes that a single negotiation would be the totality of the soul. A single acquiescence, a step, does not a whole soul make. There's always possibility for redemption, regardless of one act, especially if it was an evil act performed in the service of the greater good. So I'm concerned and confused, I guess. Concerned is a wrong, heavy word about why it feels like selling your soul for one negotiation, for one capitulation.
I get where she's going with this, whether it's committed or something more drastic. I mean, are we looking at like a Benny Gesserit thing where you're holding a conversation while you're holding a different conversation with your hands, or is this like a scorched earth policy kind of thing? That's where she's kind of going.
Believe it or not, where I'm kind of going is Duros so insecure and unsure of his connection to the light side of the force that one conversation with the queen where he needs to make a capitulation in that moment is going to forever taint him to the end of time and send him to the dark side forevermore with zero redemption possible. I'm
Oh,
selling my soul for this conversation. Well, really? Or are you just, leasing a corner of it until you can rewrite the contract?
okay, my bad. I went the wrong way with that.
Yeah, she's playing chess. She's not diddling herself under the table. Those are two very different things and require different finger motions.
Just a note for the recording, we're waiting for Duro to finish typing on Step by the Fire.
I am missing the dulcet tones of the Wanderer's voice as he uses his thumbs, but I will wait.
Typing with thumbs. That is an interesting challenge. I might have to try that.
I'm surprised that she's missing his voice while he's working his fingers.
You just made Hodge blush.
I thought Hodge knew Durro better than that.
That
You big mad.
And on YouTube too.
What can I say? Darrow's good with his fingers.
Well, okay. This is a point. However, I do have a question about why. So, one of the options that she offered was that the Sith that were on the ship would be the ones to be sacrificed, and the Pakash would not. And Astra had contacted Durro through the Force to say, "Hey, that's the one you should take." And I'm assuming that he didn't take that choice because of what you've said above. But there's I don't know. I was surprised that he didn't take that option. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the other thing I wanted to add was like the plan I came up with. You're not actually selling yourself to that point. You're just telling her what she wants to hear, so you open up an opportunity. So I'm still not entirely sure how we're. I don't know.
Yeah, because if Duro tells the queen what she wants to hear, Astra's then free to go create some chaos, and Duro can sit there and distract her.
This is no different than half the things Obi-Wan did to Grievous to set him up to try to catch him.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reacting to what Duro just said. Absolutely, that was when she said, "I want to take a different approach." Um, she said, there's this ship of Sith. They are less experienced. They are, basically, she was explaining why they were expendable, and the offer was, if you choose to let them die, the Pakash will be saved. And Mike, am I right about that? Did I remember that correctly? Yeah, yeah, I did. Okay. I mean, I remembered something correctly. So that option is still like possible, I guess. I know, but if you as the player didn't remember that offer, you know, putting Luke's story aside, is that something that he would do? Save the Pakash? Yes, I understand he was trying to put his foot down. I get it. But in not stating anything to her, I mean, okay, so the choices that she gave him, right? There's one, choice two. But there are other, it's not just those two black and white choices. There are other things that he could do, other statements he could make, like I mentioned earlier, just put it really when what you just said, just putting your foot down and being like, no, I am not. I you want me to be the light against your darkness, and you're asking me to do something that will dim that light. And so the answer to your question, which is what she wants as an answer, is no. And then what will happen happens. You know what I mean? Like right now, Durro just found out that you know, her ships are moving into range for an orbital bombardment. So he didn't give an answer, and that is happening. So if he still gives an answer, even if it's not one of the options she put in front of him, he doesn't capitulate. He doesn't make a choice that will put darkness on his soul, which is one thing that you're concerned about, and it gives her an answer, which is, you know, what she's looking for. Can you explain what you mean? I'm sure you probably have family in your room, which is why you are not talking and typing instead. So sorry, I'm asking you to recount what I'm obviously forgetting. Darn it, I was doing so well.
Who'd we lose? I believe it was a Hodge.
He did say what? I don't recall him saying that he wasn't going to. Maybe, I don't know, my memory is bad.
I honestly don't remember it either. I remember some banter, but I don't recall you ever saying, "Okay, I'm not playing this game. We're done."
And I haven't been listening in for the past couple weeks, so I don't know what's going on either.
Heads up, we just hit a point here where we're going to have to be pausing the conversation and moving forward with some stuff.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. We're good to continue the conversation. He's doing Nova side.
if we are opting to conclude this conversation, and at least in the voice chat, I'd like to move on with Nova Scene. I will afford you guys continued time if you want, or y'all can shift the conversation to the text chat, which, as long as you guys are prepared, that's all I'm saying. I just want to make sure everyone is prepared for tonight's scene.
Yes, please. We'd like to shift to chat so that we can take care of this. Durro's having Wi-Fi connection issues, so it's a little slow. Yeah, that's cool. We'll go silent. Let Nova do her scene, and we can continue on the tech side if that's cool.
Understood. Meh, 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 meh.
So, question about this scene that you're about to do with Nova. So they're in between. Sorry, I can hear an echo of my voice. They're in between when they were like having food and like talking. Is this where you're picking it up? Okay, so did they just conclude their conversation then, and if this is a new scene?
The scene I'm doing is not in the same time continuum as they're in between. These scenes are out of sync. But the question I need to ask you, Nova, before or after that in between.
It would be after because she got the okay from Ava to do it. And it would have to be after 8:15 at some point.
Sorry. Testing 1 2 microphone. Durro, can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear. My thoughts are slow.
I am good to go.
The scene takes place at the at the Imperial Palace on Baklid. Their training facility. Shakti takes a step back and de-energizes her lightsaber. You're getting better.
Well, I've been training sometimes without you, so.
Well, I'm glad to see that training is paying off. Mastering these particular weapons is no easy task.
Well, you got them for me, so might as well figure out how to use them.
One thing I've noticed about individuals who utilize unorthodox weapons, you have to think unorthodox. If you think conventionally, well, you'll end up losing a hand or an arm or worse. You have to strike and move and defend outside of the outside the conventional traditions that most people train by. There are the 6 traditional lightsaber forms, the classical forms. There are several other forms that are widely taught. All of those have weaknesses. With your particular fighting style, you have to learn to exploit those weaknesses.
Think on my feet all the time. I got it. Think on my feet all the time. I got it.
So I'm going to unmute you so I can hear you. That way there you don't have to yell. I'll ask you one more time to repeat that.
So think on my feet is what you're telling me.
To think not even just on your feet, but think in the moment. To think outside of what you see, you feel. Think of combat like the ripples in a lake. There's a pattern to them that move through you. You can feel them. It doesn't matter where or how the patterns, the ripples are affecting you, you can still sense them. Learn to disrupt those ripples and you can break your opponent.
I understand. That will be a little tricky, but I could probably figure it out.
You have survived assassinations, one of the most cruelest prison colonies in the system, brought a dangerous revolutionary organization to its knees. I'm sure you can figure this one out.
Well, gathering information about the enemy is kind of what I do, and then go from there.
And you see, that kind of thinking is going to get you killed. By the time you activate your weapons, gathering of information is over. It is time to survive. The seconds or minutes before you have to activate your weapons, you should already know everything there is to know about your opponent. You should already be able to read everything. Most importantly, you need to understand what motivates them in this combat. Doesn't matter if they're a Sith or a Jedi. They all have their own motivations for every encounter. Understanding what this motivation is gives you an edge, allows you to break them.
And this is why I gather information before I start combat.
Exactly. Always, when you are ready to activate your lightsaber, always have the information. It is a soon-to-be dead Jedi or Sith who activates their lightsaber or acts on combat without knowing what exactly they're going into combat for. I can't tell you how many Jedi I've dispatched, because by the time they're drawing their weapons and trying to be the hero, they've already lost. What is the first rule of any engagement? It doesn't matter combat, but what's the first rule of any engagement, pupil? Ah, there's more to combat than just swinging lit blades. The first rule is simple. Know yourself. Know your enemy. And you will never know defeat. Know yourself, but not your enemy. And you will succumb as often as you are victorious. If you know your enemy, but refuse to know yourself, the same is true. You will succumb as often as you are victorious. There are those Jedi and those Sith who neither know themselves nor their enemy. I tell you, pupil, they will succumb in every battle. This is truth. What do you know of me?
Had a character she would have looked her up, but we never got around to do that. So
What you know? Guess.
I don't know. I'm not good at guessing. That's the issue.
Well, allow us to pick up. If you go in to any situation under the assumption that you think that a particular person is one way or the other, this is how I have killed more Jedi or Sith than any other living being in the galaxy. Ava's credits have been well spent in hiring you one of the best teachers there are when it comes to hunting Force sensitives. I let them see what they want to see. They never truly know me in combat, and therefore they will always succumb. It's the foolish ones who I even allow to believe in their own overconfidence. I killed a Jedi Master one time. The fool approached the situation thinking he knew all he needed to know. Of course, he was blinded by his emotions, blinded by his dogma. Killing his Padawan the night before was just icing on the cake. He was my original target, and I needed him off balance. You see, Sith are always off balance. Jedi are never off balance. If you change that, you weaken one or the other. You look tired. We're done training for today. Is there anything else you need?
Well, is there a way to hide you are a force sensitive?
There is. It's a skill called Force Stealth. The best way to describe it is like this. When Jedi and Sith are hunting for sensitives, what they do is they look for the shine. Believe it or not, even darkness shines. Through the Force, they can see this shine. What you want to do is you want to squash it. You want to reduce it. So you focus in on your being. You focus in on who you are deep down inside. You take that shine and you make it as small as possible. Don't make it vanish. You see, because if you make it vanish, it's a telltale sign you're hiding in the Force. What you want to do is you want to make it small, insignificant, like a mundane, a muggle, a normal. They have many names for it. Too much, they know who you are. Too little, you'll attract their attention. Here's where Jedi philosophy comes into play. Just the right balance in shine is what you want to project. I once presented myself as a lesser student when I was studying with the witches of Dathomir. One of my targets was, well, let's just say a prominent member of their society. I needed them to believe that I was far less powerful than I really was. However, I did not want them to see that I was normal. So I controlled it. I gave them just enough shine that I was a promising student, but not the bounty hunter I really am. You should have saw the look on her face when she realized that the drink I had made for her was poisoned. And that's another thing. There's many ways to destroy a Force user. It's only the reckless and the stupid that focus on one or the other. I'll tell you a secret that I haven't told your employer, our employer. During our original interview, she questioned me about if I had really killed over 100 Force users. I believe she quoted it as 135 Force users. I said, if that is what the records show. But that's not true. You see, our fair Dathomirian witch did die. Old and, advanced in the years she was. Her clan hardly even noticed that she had been poisoned. They all wrote it off as old age coming to her. The clan still sees me as a hero who had fought valiantly to try to save her life, and wept deeply when my efforts had failed. If you're to be a true assassin, these are the hallmarks of your trade: illusion, stealth, and most importantly, a sense of artistic flair. It was the same poison I used many years before to kill a CEO of a corporation who had intended to strip mine the very Dathomirian lands that this poor woman had controlled. I felt it had a sense of symmetry.
That it does.
Is there anything else I could do for you?
No, I think I'll practice on hiding my force sensitivity and trying to understand combat more.
What I want you to do is I want you to work with Sheev. Have him search the Force for you. I don't want you to become invisible in the Force, but I want you to control how much glow you're producing. Change your, how shall I say this? Your radiance. Become normal. Vanish in the Force. Even become less powerful than you are, but still Force sensitive. Do you understand the task?
That I do. I can do that.
Good. Run along now. I have to teach. I have to teach the others. And we'll close that scene. Mr. Durro, are you ready?
I am ready as long as I do not need to roll any dice because my PC is still not connecting to the internet.
All right. Do I have permission to bring up your character sheet? If you have to make dice rolls, I can do them for you if you would like.
I don't know if you can access other people's character sheets.
You need to
No,
be able to if you're an administrator.
I am not, so never mind. My bad.
Actually, I don't have the way. I have my phone, and Roll20 on my phone is kind of a butt.
Also, just out of curiosity, you used the hand language before. Are you capable of using that still for conversations without people noticing, or no?
Durro.
You mean the sign language that Ava taught us?
Yeah.
Yes, they are capable of using it. However, the
Ooh.
queen may notice it.
Okay. I was just trying to think of options. I'm gonna sit back now because I think we're about to start.
The
Okay,
best
I do
option.
want
Oops.
to give a bit of clarification on that. So, with a Duro, I'm gonna do you a solid, brother. I'm gonna allow you in this scene any dice rolls that need to be made or any dice rolls you want to make. I'll allow you to take 10. As long as you know what your modifiers are, that should help you out.
Well, that depends on the skill used. Some of them I know, some of them I do not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sitting in front of my computer, so I can't bring up your character sheet.
That's all right. I'll keep trying to get the Wi-Fi on.
As far as the sign language goes, bring up your character sheet. I'm not looking for that. Scroll down to skills. Give me a second. Go to S's. There it is. Sleight of hand. A successful 10 or better on sleight of hand will make the gestures undetectable. No, you're fine. Thank you for the offer. That's assuming that the person doesn't score a higher spot check. There's always going to be that counter to it. However, even if she spots it, there's very little chance she'll know what it means. I will also say, not that it matters, you have access to the Force. Astra and Durro can speak freely through telepathy.
That's true. And that also means speaking telepathically with each other and not necessarily through the ECD. Like, so if you want to talk with each other through telepathy and then you would cut out everybody else.
Fairly certain the Queen would also know that is going on.
She may know what's going on. Doesn't mean she's going to know what you're saying. That's the really important thing. Anything else to help you out, brother? What can I do for you? So what I'd like to do is, who made the last post about regarding incoming? Okay, can you please read the last post in incoming? Because this is where the scene on the ECD. Yeah, on the ECD. Okay, so I'm going to have Tassara read her last post. This is over the ECD. That's where the time froze. So I will, once the reading is over, unless there's no objections, I will allow Durro action at the end of that reading. I am holding an objection.
Lily is talking to Mike, but not on my, not on. No, your mic isn't working, darling.
I thought we had her muted. Oh, okay.
No, her mic's not working.
Her headset is behaving badly. So I can tell you the last post made on incoming was by you, Mike, speaking as Gungnir.
Right. But Gungnir's not on the ECD.
Right.
This would mark the last thing Durro hears before we froze it. Remember, I froze it to give the player agency in what he wants to do.
Okay, so I'll read it. It says, Tassara responds immediately. That explains why she is exiting so quickly. She turns to Chiri. Chiri, can you fly the Gungnir? Handyman was shot and isn't functional, and Gungnir, the droid, is with Haj and Kreese. The reason they're leaving so quickly is that the Queen is about to start bombing the planet. Our time will be very, very tight. Can you fly us? She asks. Then, back to the others via the ECD. Depending on how fast the bombardment will begin, We may be able to come pick you up if the frigate isn't spaceworthy. Keep us posted and trust in the Force.
Right. Durro, you heard everything in the spoken, in Tessara's spoken voice. The action is to you, sir. If you need me to refresh the scene, please let me know.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
So, it is after dinner, or I'm sorry, after lunch. The Queen has summoned 2 escorts along with a monk to see you off the ship. You guys are rising up from the table, and you hear this information over the ECDs.
So when Durro hears that, he will take a second, make sure nothing else is being said, and then look at the Queen before they can be let out and say, "All right, you win."
She'll look up from the last of her food. You have my attention.
I'll play your stupid game and answer your question. You certainly know how to get to a Jedi.
She half smiles and motions you to sit, and then waves off the 3 escorts. I know you believe this to be but a stupid game. I am sorry that that is your belief. You must understand that for me, this is more important than anything else in my empire. Tell me, Durro. Sorry, she wouldn't call you Durro. Tell me, Massa Thaltanus. Have you felt the nagging doubt in the back of your mind, questioning every decision you make? Be honest with me.
Yes, I have.
And she looks at Astra. Leave us.
Okay. Astral turn around and walk out of the room then.
And then she'll turn to everybody else. Leave us. And all of her monks and her 2 guards will leave. After a few minutes, and she's sure that they have departed, I too have felt this. Know this, Master Thaltanus. Your resolve is stronger than you think. That doubt you hear, that whisper of fear, the questioning against everything you hold dear, that is not from within you. I have, through the help of one of yours, learned a valuable piece of information. This is our enemy, taunting and weakening us. You think this but a game. It's not. I have spent countless hours studying you, searching the Force for your past, seeing the man you once were. You'll forgive me if I come to the conclusion that that man isn't the same man I see before me today. You've grown. More handsome, in my opinion. Though there are parts of you that aren't as resilient and strong as they once were. You no
Well, that
longer
comes
crave.
naturally.
I apologize. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
He just said, well, that comes naturally with age, unfortunately.
Do you crave victory like you once did when you faced off with the droid armada? When you led your clones, and she does do that. She literally pauses as if she's struggling to put words to the things she saw. Do you still crave that victory over everything else?
Yes, I do. It is a part of who I am. The enemy has simply changed. The objective has shifted. But I do still crave victory.
This contest, this game, she smiles as you say most elegantly, Massa Theltanas, this stupid game is everything about knowing if you are worthy to fight beside me, if you are capable of making those decisions that you once so easily made. You wouldn't even sacrifice these band of pathetic Sith who have been rocked by failure since I liberated them. You wouldn't even condemn them to death to save your precious Prakash. Why? Why would you save beings your order has sworn to destroy? Trust me, despite their failures, they would not have done the same for the Prakash villages they burned to the ground on the initial invasion. So why spare them?
Well, that question has several very interesting answers. First and easiest is I was refusing to play your game. To make a choice would be to give in.
An interesting deduction.
Sometimes the only way to win a game is to not play.
An inaccurate statement. If you don't play the game, you cannot possibly win. You're merely refusing the inevitable.
Semantics.
Agreed, but very important for who you and I are. You see, we are going to have to learn to fight together. We are going to have to learn to know who we are. Tell me, how hard is it to resist the urge to strike me down?
It's manageable.
She'll lean forward. I'll tell you another secret, Master Thaltanus. I can't be so charitable. You stand in representation of everything I truly despise about the galaxy. Arrogance, omnipotency. You believe that you have the right to choose who lives and dies. Everything
Just
about
1
you.
minute.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Just 1 minute. Are you describing me or yourself?
I'm describing the kind of person I see across this table. You see, you believe that I don't have a right to exist. Tell me I'm wrong. I dare you.
Oh, and he's back.
Oh, thank God.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I'm like,
His
We're on
wife
a
what
roll.
a
was
cliffhanger, dude.
We're on a roll, dude. I'm like, holy crap.
10 points to Gryffindor for building dramatic effect.
his Wi-Fi being a butt.
Yeah, that is what I was mid-sentence too, and I realized that I wasn't even connected to the call, much less pushing to talk.
All right. Do I need to back anything up? She posed a question
Beep,
to you.
beep, beep.
Repeat the question, and I'll play off of it.
Okay. You believe I don't have a right to exist. Tell me the truth, Master Thaltanus. Is that not true?
You have every right to exist. You don't have the right to impose your will on others, or on the Force itself.
And you are judge, jury, and executioner.
If that is what I'm called to be.
By who? The dogma of your broken order.
By balance in the Force.
You claim that the force must remain in balance. I claim that the force is in its totality both light and dark, equal parts, a natural occurrence. As much as I despise you, Master Thaltanus, and I despise your dogma and your perceptions of the force, in my opinion, how wrong they can be, because you exist in the force, and you are part of its total totality, you deserve to exist. No matter how heinous I believe your crimes are.
Night and day. Life and death. There is a duality to the Force, just as there is a duality to all things. You are less the night to my day, and more the corruptive cancer to the otherwise healthy body of all of nature and creation.
If the
That is
force is
why,
not. Sorry. No, go ahead.
that is why forces like you must be opposed, and, as best they can be, obliterated. There is nothing corruptive about night, about death, in and of itself. It is when those good things become corruptive, too much of a good thing, or perhaps too little. But when corruption takes root, then it must be eradicated.
You see me as a cancer on the greater body of the force, then. And you are the surgeon who has been tasked to remove me.
If that is how you would like to see it.
I'm just framing what you said in its more basic context. Again, you believe you have the right to make that assertion about me, that your view is absolute. However,
No,
I
of course not.
challenge.
See, I am not the surgeon. I am the scalpel. I am but an instrument of the will of the Force.
Ah, does the will of the Force speak to you and tell you to destroy me?
Not in so many words.
Hmm. Maybe it delivers such messages by edict in a fancy scroll with your name engraved on top in gold.
And delivered by an owl. Yes, that is exactly how that happens.
In our philosophical discussion, I have but one counter to that. You say that the Force is no different in any duality, night and day, life and death, and therefore I am a corruption. However, if I'm a corruption of the Force, then explain why the Force allows me all the powers that I have accumulated.
Why does the body allow a cancer to destroy it?
Because the body is weak. There are many more mysteries to the Force than you and I could possibly gather, though I do plan on exploring all of them. Did you know, Master Thaltanus, that as a Force user, you hardly scratch the surface of what you can do?
Well, of that we are in agreement. I don't believe that there is enough life in any species or multiple lifetimes to understand the full mystery of the Force. Frankly, I don't think our mortal minds are capable of fully understanding it. There's always another horizon to cross, more to learn and uncover.
No truer words have ever been spoken by a heretic. I truly believe that you and I have more in common if you can resist the urge to follow that edict. I'll tell you a story of a little girl who had a trick that made all the men happy. She was always chosen during the gatherings. Observe, Master Thaltanus, and she'll reach across the table and grab a glass of water and pull it towards her, and then grab another glass and pour the water from that glass into the first glass and set it down. Now, this is just about a child's trick. I want you to watch. And she waves her hand over the glass. You can feel the Force moving, but in a different way. It's much similar to how you felt it on Origin. In fact, it's as the water starts to move, you start to realize that it's exactly the way you felt it on Origin, the way the spirit talkers on Origin moved the ground, the water, the air, and even, sorry, that was right. Ground, air, water. Fire, thank you. And she takes the water from one glass and takes it up into the air and makes a circle, and then continues with the stream and takes it to the other glass and works with both hands and brings it to completion. It was a trick that I taught myself. I knew that I could reach out in different ways.
An impressive display.
Thank you. It impressed all of my suitors quite nicely, and they rewarded me handsomely with, at first, candies and treats later, simple gifts that any child would love to have. I'll make you a deal, Master Thaltanus. I will tell you, you can learn this. But the only way you can learn this is if you learn to see the Force in a different way. It will challenge everything there is to know about the Force. There are secrets and mysteries. You are right that mortals can never learn. How did you phrase it? Our mortal minds can't comprehend. Luckily for you, I am a daughter of a goddess and one of the greatest warmongers in all of history.
Which is why you can learn these things.
Yes and no. I could learn these things because my father was particularly cruel. While you were learning to levitate and do whatever it is that children do in the vast Jedi temple on Coruscant, I was being beaten to an inch of my life to please men of many races, to do the things that you would not commit even adult women to do. She looks sad for a second, and then moments after, it washes away. You've answered my question, Master Thaltanus. Unless you have anything else for me, you and your knight are free to leave my ship. The Sith will leave with my armada. We will return to our space, and you can be the hero who saved these pathetic life forms. I'll wait for your summons and not venture beyond my borders. As long as you promise to stay outside my borders. Do we have an accord, Master Thaltanus?
And
Oh,
the other knight?
he was never part of any agreement other than a promise to bring her to the ship and rescue her. I've kept that promise, and she has pledged herself to serve me. If I were to give her to you, I would violate that accord I made with her. You'll find that I am many things, Master Thaltanus, but I never break a promise.
I see. And the boy, then?
She activates her comm. Do you remember the number on his chest?
Out of character, I take it he does.
Sure, we'll give it to you.
Then he gives it to her.
Move prisoner, and she'll read it into her thing. To the shuttle. Have him prepped for departure. he will be leaving our company. And again, you hear no confirmation, just the comm going off. I will not lie, Master Thaltanus. Entering these conversations with you, I gave myself a little slightly better than a third to survive. But if you could set aside your dogma, if you could set aside the twisted preachings of your broken order to see that I have a right to exist as to who I am, then I think we might be able to join an alliance. We might be able to offset the monster that lurks in both of our dreams, that withers at our self-confidence, that strikes at us in ways neither of us have been prepared for.
And to that end, I look forward to the next time we meet. And he'll wink at her with a sly smile.
She looks at you. Always the charmer. That is one thing I do appreciate about the new man that didn't fight in those wars. There is one bit of advice I'll give you, Master Thaltanus, something that I believe will serve you well. That is, if you're willing to listen. I'll give you a bit of advice, Master Thaltanus. She frowns. That is, if you're willing to listen to someone like me. There is a part of you you have forgotten who he is, why he does the things he does. Yes, the person you are is fantastic, magnificent even. You are every bit the arrogant Jedi Master I have come to expect. But there's a part of you you've forgotten. If you don't know this part of you, if you continue to ignore the man you once were, you will succumb and we will all lose. And
Recent
she'll
events
rise.
have made him hard to ignore, but thank you for the advice.
She'll rise from the table.
And so
Until
will rise as well.
until we meet again, Master Thaltanus. I bid you good day. Please make no other efforts. Depart my ship without striking any infractions on our accord.
As you wish. And he
And she'll
will
turn.
bow respectfully, the little Jedi bow, and will turn to leave.
She half turns, sees you bow, stops, recenters herself, and does a fairly decent job of mimicking your bow. And then turns and walks away.
All right then. Well, he'll follow the guards or his escort or whatever to the shuttle.
Okay. Well, Asher is is right outside the room, waiting for you with the other guards, and they will escort you back to the shuttle, where this Chiss boy is waiting, and the shuttle will return you back to the planet. Unless unless you plan to do something else.
No, I think not. No, Durro understands from all of his other interactions and visions and interactions with people who have had visions, he understands that the reason this went so smoothly is because Clone Astra made a deal. And, at the end of the day, that's her choice and her business. He may not like it or agree with it, but that's her free will in action. So, no, he's not going to try anything else.
All right. Everybody over the ECD heard Durro's side of that conversation.
That's all well and good. That's all well and good, right up until the time those damn ships fly away. Then, until then, it's business as usual.
Right.
So, Asher, are you going to say anything to him once he exits the chamber?
Kitty, your microphone's muted.
Meow.
I hear a kitty.
Astra's just gonna look at Durro, kind of wondering what happened that made him change his mind suddenly.
Sorry, what was that? You were very quiet.
Astra is going to look at Durro with this questioning look because she's wondering what made him change his mind so suddenly.
Welcome back.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi keeps dropping. So Astra looked at Durro questioningly to see why he changed his mind all of a sudden.
Yes.
He just would say, not whispering, but he's not speaking loudly, just say quietly to her, surely you felt that as well.
Felt what?
Here I come to save your Wi-Fi.
Well, Durro's Wi-Fi is being messed with. What the heck are you telling me to do, Hodge? Because I don't understand.
You don't have to understand. You merely need to follow directions. If you please.
I don't
As
even
for
understand the direction I gave me. So how the fuck can I? Ugh.
Let me see if I can use smaller words.
Well, remember though, Durro and Astra are still in the middle of a scene, so I believe he asked her, "Tell me you felt that," right? Is that what Durro said to her?
yes, and then she said, "Felt what?" And I haven't been able to reply yet. He would say, "The tightening in the force, the impending death and destruction, that feeling right before a cataclysmic event. He was about to destroy the Prakash." That was her other approach, to actually begin the destruction of an entire race, hoping that the Jedi in me would move to save them. even if it meant giving her what she wanted.
I see. Master,
Yes.
what can you see going on in the force around us?
Well, now that the threat of impending destruction has passed, out of character, what does Durro see?
Okay, so looking through the Force, here's what you two see. The large guards that are kind of slightly resistive to the Force takes a little bit of effort to push through to sense them, but you can still sense them. Though that's normal. The monk that's escorting you, that's obviously lower level than you can sense him also. The Sith on board, oh, they're little pissy bitches, but they're still there as well. What you don't sense is a large bubble of force void.
Well, yes, were we not eating lunch in the same chamber that we'd been playing these games in?
True, but that bubble's moved.
Oh, so the bubble's still there, it's just in a different location.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you know it's moved before in the past, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in one area. I'm saying you don't sense it at all. It's not on the ship.
Right.
Does Astra sense that as well?
That is what both of them sense.
Okay.
That's pretty unusual.
Yes, very good. You thought to look for that while I was otherwise distracted. Very curious. You never figured out what caused the bubble, did you?
I don't think it was the lizards, Master.
No, you already told me that, but you did not find out what actually causes it.
No. I did
I
not.
wonder if it was her pet dragon that causes it. I wonder if she has somehow moved him from the ship. Shadow walking, or whatever she called it, perhaps?
I'm sorry, pet what?
Dragon.
Oh, I didn't get to tell you. I fought a dragon.
Master, those are in storybooks. Are you sure you weren't dosed with something?
Yes, I'm, well, mostly positive.
Mostly positive. Oh, that's really reassuring there.
So look around you at where we are, what we are surrounded by, and you find her having a pet dragon in the basement. Unbelievable.
And Astra is grinning ear to ear right now.
Just to let everybody know, the warships are in firing range or in their firing positions. They've been there for about maybe almost 10-15 minutes and have done nothing. Durro, Astra, you guys are boarding your shuttles. Is there anything you want to tell? No, they've been at their positions, but they've done nothing.
So are we live still on the ECD, right?
Yes.
Durro, Astra,
Meow.
I'm
Is
glad that
Astra now in character?
And Astra's just about to ask, did Astra meow over the
Yes,
ECD?
she did. I can see.
Kinda dumb.
I can see Durro just looking over at her on the shuttle, like,
of a sudden, Grease
Right?
sees Hodge's face
Massive,
go.
massive arched eyebrow.
Grease watches as Hodge's face goes into an absolute bafflement.
Maybe one of the kittens escaped one of the girls' backpacks or something, because I swear somebody just meowed.
Sorry.
Aside from the meow, so these ships are still in position.
Well,
Did
obviously, the ECD is still alive.
Yes, sorry, we didn't hear everything except what she was saying.
I'll put two and two together and figure it out. I
Then
gave the queen what she wanted, or told the queen what she wanted to hear. The bombardment is cancelled. Sorry.
that's what I thought as well. But why haven't the ships returned? If she said she would take her fleet and return to her airspace, why are they still there and not moving back away?
They could be waiting for us to leave the ship peacefully.
That would be my guess. If they do not move after we have returned to the planet's surface, well, then I may have some angry words.
The
Okay,
hatch. Sorry. The hatch on the shuttle is closing. The shuttle is lifting off and departing the Queen's flagship.
we will hold a position then until you return to the planet's surface. Hopefully, they will drop you right near the Gungnir. We are aboard. The girls are all safely in their rooms, and Siri and I are on the bridge. I'm sorry. Haj, are you okay?
We're fine. We'll bring the frigate and meet you. There are drones on board we'll want to transfer to Gungnir.
You hear Cheery call out, "They're moving! All of them!"
Away?
Yes.
The
They're leaving orbit.
Everyone, the ships are moving away now. Cheery just reported this to me.
Hodge opens the door to the hatch and says to Kresk, "We're in the clear. They've negotiated a ceasefire."
Then we should get that transmission out immediately before the Prakash fleet attacks.
Absolutely. How quickly can we get back to the Gungnir to make that happen?
Let's find out. I'll go ahead and start firing up the ship.
Okay. It lifts up out of the mud and heads over there just to save dramatic tension and everything. The three ships, or I'm sorry, the shuttle and the frigate arrive at the spaceport at the same time. The shuttle drops Durro off and departs departs the area without any further incident. Cherry will report once the shuttle leaves orbit that the last of the Queen's ships enter hyperspace.
I think Tassara would likely grab Cheery into a great big huge hug and just like jump around the room with her in excitement. He did it! He did it! We're not all gonna die!
I assume we're all together at this point, yes?
Yeah, I would assume
Are we,
so.
Mike, are we all together? All three? The whole party's back together?
Plus a Chisk child.
Plus a
Right.
kiss child.
And
What's this
Kreese.
about a cheese child? Is it edible?
9.
And
Oh, come on. Willy Wonka, blueberry.
It would be more like, or unless it's blue cheese. Could be blue cheese. Two little pimentos on the face.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all have issues.
So,
We
Mike,
discussed that whole subscription thing last night.
You know, that's
Should I?
actually like the third time I've heard that today, actually,
What's that?
that I have issues.
You get a whole subscription, man. So I went. I'm assuming Michael, party is back together. Hodge will find Durro and walk up to him at some quiet moment when they are, and she will. She will first tell Gungnir to deactivate the ECDs.
yes, let's do that.
Deactivate. Let's turn off the so nobody else is listening to all of this. She will send Gungnir to Handyman to get him restarted, so that they can take care of each other. And then she will find Durro. And she will curl around him and wrap her arms around him.
You will
And
embrace her as well.
when Astra said to us the Queen was a genius, I thought we had lost everything.
It was up in the air there for a little, but we pulled through, as I knew we would.
You are amazing, Shara. I don't know how you did it. I heard only half the conversation.
Truth be told, I don't think it was all me, but I am just glad we all got out of there in one piece.
Don't let her steal your light. You are incredible. Take the win. We have a bigger fight in front of us. And I am afraid it's not that far in the future.
No, probably not. But whenever it comes, I am positive we will be ready for it.
Certainly hope so. And I hope that we have enough fight for not only our future, but for futures yet to come.
Indeed. Though I feel there is more to that statement than what's on the surface.
Dreaming. Only dreaming. I've not had a lot of sleep in the last few days. And as a result of that and some very bad Pakash rations, my mind has wandered into places. I had the strangest dream. There was a little boy and a little girl. The girl was older somehow, teens maybe, long black hair, strangest eyes, and all she did was laugh. The little boy, he led me through the dream. And she looks down for just a second and moves her hand across her midsection. It was so odd.
What was odd?
All of it. I haven't had a chance to go back and look over all of the details yet. It was, let's just say it felt like more than a dream. The girl was most disturbing. I've never seen eyes like, okay, that's creepy. I've never seen eyes like that. They moved, the pupils, the middle of the eyes, they kept shifting and changing shape.
Well, that is unsettling.
It was. It most definitely was. And when I have a chance to examine all of it, I'll come to you with more details, I promise. For now, let's get off this rock. I think I've had as much of Wargleness as I can stand right now.
I can agree with you there. I'll
Where do
tell
we
you
go
what,
next?
when we think back to this world, let's think back to our first visit and kind of brush over the second one.
She smiles up at you. I like that. I like that a lot. In fact, it was my plan once we got here to take you on a picnic.
Maybe at our next stop.
Where is our next stop? Are we going to the Prylock or are we going to Elysium?
I'll have to consult the star charts. I have an idea. Don't want to say too much until I do my research, but I have an idea.
Before we leave, we need to get those drones off the frigate if we're not going to use it for anything. Michael! Hey, Mike!
He
XP?
went to pick up Jess. He's
No, I knew
gone.
that.
He
No,
Read
also
the
said the
text.
game will be continuing and the
but he's
recording
standing
is
right
still
in front
going
of me.
on.
Okay, well, I am not there. I have no idea. I just read the text chat. That's all I can do.
Don't you fuss at me.
I'll post XP when the game is over.
Ah.
I'll fuss
You
at
guys
whoever
got
you fuss at.
you guys had a you guys had a victory. Enjoy it.
Don't make me lick your nose. I will. The piercing will get
Is
stuck. Charlotte will hit me with a fry pan, and it will get awkward for all of us.
that a threat or a promise?
Yes. Georgia and those 3 bottles of rum, anything is possible.
All right.
There's Wanderer. Sorry. Elysium, Prylock, Trainwreck. Sorry.
And at this point, I think the recording is no longer good for YouTube.
Just put an NSFW tag on it. We're good.
Hey, if we got butt sex past the censors, I think we're safe here.
We never actually got that past the censors.
Okay, oops.
Good job.
Dreaming. We lost Duro. Oh God. We say butt sex, but I was gonna say butt sex and Duro leaves. What?
Please stop saying that.
Stynax error 404.
Oh my God, she's very, very red right now. Like turning purple, kind of a little.
I think she might be drunk.
Mission accomplished. I always have 2 missions every session to make Hodge turn really red and to make Astra almost pass out laughing.
Oh my God.
Oh, I got the Astra part. All you
Oh.
have to do is say 2 words. Butt burps.
Oh my God.
You guys are crazy.
I think we're supposed to be taking the win in character.
Well,
You know
right
what?
now,
That's fine. If you guys want to take it out of character, you guys do what you guys got to do because, like I said, you guys earned this.
I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this post event. Might have to be sorted out when we have a little more breathing room, aka in betweens.
right. I mean, we can, now that there's no threat of an orbital bombardment, we can see if we can get Handyman back online. We can make sure that all the repairs were finished to the Gungnir, that all the stocking of supplies that we needed are done. Durro needs to figure out whether we're going to Elysium, which is, I believe Mike said, was 3 weeks travel from Workinals, or directly to Prelock, which is a 3-month journey to the Prelock from where we are in Workinals. And after all that, I'm sure that Durro, as captain, is going to want to have a debriefing about, and a celebration. Actually, the only thing that we're going to be sad about is that we weren't able to rescue clone Astra, but I'm sure we'll talk about that.
So I
We
will
have the
say,
boy to integrate.
I will say
Durro
this.
and
Okay.
Astra came aboard with a boy.
Yes, they did. I
And the
will
giant
say.
lizard.
I will say. My God, are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I will say this.
Did you say the
The
giant lizard?
the people of Workalets will throw
Give
a
me a second.
celebration.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, hey,
Give me a second.
tell Lily to
Yes,
unmute
I did.
me.
I did. I did. I
Okay,
did. I
okay,
did. I did.
okay.
I did.
Okay.
I had muted him. Cripes on a crutch.
God, I know, right? So the people of Workalets will throw a feast in y'all's honor, a award ceremony where the party will be granted really pretty, really shiny medals. They will show their
Really
admiration
pretty,
for
really shiny. You stop talking. Really pretty, really shiny what?
medals.
Oh, okay. I lost him. Not anymore, I can't.
Yeah. The repairs,
I did
the
unmute him.
repairs, the repairs and restocking of the Gungnir will take place. The ship will be set up and ready for departure within, we'll say, 24 hours. Is Lily the only one that can't hear me?
Yes,
would
I
seem
can
so.
hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can all hear you except Lily. I'm trying to play you on speaker so she can hear you.
In short, it will be a night of celebration for the heroes of Workalets.
Okay. So we have to find this boy a place on the Gungnir for him and, look him over, get him to the med bay, check him over, do all that. Find out his name.
I think we know his name.
Durro knows his name.
And what of Kreesk?
Oh, his name is Karaska. And I'm assuming at the point when they make eye contact, you probably have a rushing bantha to get out of the way of.
So Kreesk did decide then to join us on the Gungnir and continue on with our party and not stay on Workinals, right?
That was covered in IB, yes.
I mean, what reason would he have to stay on Workinals when his son gets off the shuttle with the rest of the Edge Lords?
It was actually already covered in between on the moving forward section.
Right.
Granted, Hodge has to talk to Durro about that because she made the decision.
That's if Hodge can talk to anybody because she's all tongue-tied.
There's Michael. Now you can take it off the speakerphone. She can, in fact, speak. And as Durro and Hodge are walking back to the bridge, she will tell him flat out that there is a Pokash warrior on board. He has decided to join the party and go with us on whatever future adventures is going on. And that now that you have moved you and I into the professor's shuttle and we've taken up residence there, I've offered him my room.
Out of character, Durro already knew about the Prakash on board, right? He just didn't know he wanted to come with.
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
That and about half of their conversations on the ECD since he was yelling at her and she was yelling at him.
Right.
There's lots of yelling.
Cherry's going to ask a question
To who?
to just anybody. What's an ECD?
Is Gungnir nearby when Fury asks this?
No, she's in the med bay working on Handyman.
It's some kind of weird thing that lets us talk in each other's heads.
Ew.
It's sort of like telepathy, except not.
If you choose to stay with the crew, you'll be receiving one, and she'll look over at Kreesk. As will you, if you are amenable and agreeable.
If it's on my terms, it's not a problem.
It proved very, very, very helpful.
It may be helpful. It also has the potential to be intrusive.
Oh, absolutely.
We were given these without our I would say without our consent, but the honest truth is we signed the contract. He has done no such thing, so it would be with his permission.
Oh, absolutely. I completely concur. And if Gungnir can find a way to safely turn it on and off, that will be also helpful. I agree that it's very intrusive to have it on all the time. But when we need it, to have it available, whew.
That's something she and Handyman will have to work out once he's functional. How long before that becomes the case?
We need Mike to answer that question.
As far as I know, you guys are having this conversation somewhere other than the med bay. Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, we're not in the mid bay.
Pretty sure it's in the
So,
hangar bay since everyone literally just came back together. If it's on the Gungnir, it's in the hangar bay.
so then who is Hodge asking that question to? Because I got the only NPCs I have there is Cheery.
What about the kid?
And
You
he's
know,
not going to know that
the
answer.
kid. Well, yeah, I know, but I'm pointing out that that's not Cherry's not the only NPC on the bridge.
You know what?
Yeah,
Just
traveler.
yeah, just add another one, Astra. Just add another one.
What do you mean add another one?
So much gas is happening.
Hey, let's add another one while we're at it.
Well,
But by the way, I do know that there are several PMs being sent to me. I'm driving. I cannot read them, so you'll have to be patient. If it's urgent, you can just say it over the chat.
And how do I drop it cryptically? Do you want me to pass that next note on or just hold off?
To the fleet?
No, in reference to the next chapter.
Yeah, hold off on that because I'm not sure what you're talking about, and I don't want to give you the wrong answer.
Okay, sounds good.
Durro asked a question in the text chat that says, do we have alone or downtime before the celebration?
Yes, you have about 4 to 5 hours, or in Durro and Hodge speak, 2 or 3.
well, in that time, then Tassara can go check on Handyman and report to everybody else what they find.
Okay, so I know what Tassara's doing. Anybody else gonna go do something? I'm pretty sure Hodge and Durro are gonna go do something.
What do you think we are, rabbits?
Yes.
First thing Durro is going to do is check his ship. Hello. And I don't think that's a euphemism.
I do.
Why don't we ask Durro what he wants to do?
Durro said the first thing Durro is going to do is check on his ship.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the
It's
text
in the
chat.
Catholic rabbits. Yeah. Oh my god!
Did somebody post a meme of rabbits?
I did something a little worse, but I had to
Yeah,
delete
you
it.
did.
That's amazing. I'll have to look at it on the recording.
That is not what I posted.
No,
God dang it! And I'm not there to take this picture.
Okay, Astra will go speak to Kreesk. Oh my god, I'm dying.
I hope you guys figured out that editing thing.
Nope.
Sorry, this is
Mentally scarred forever.
Broken.
Take a picture of her, Amy, and post it. Take a picture of it, post it.
You want pictures of stop that?
All right. Back to the game. Back to the game. Tisara, you walk into the med bay and you see Gungnir working on Handyman.
How is he here? Come near. Is he going to be all right?
He'll be functional. It'll just take a lot of repair parts.
Where will we get those?
And she turns her head all the way around as her body continues to work. Luckily, the professor has always anticipated that organic life will never truly respect inorganic life. We have plenty on board.
Good. I'm glad. Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can get you?
Sadly, no. You lack the necessary skills to tend to this. Before the Gungnir lifts off from this world, Handyman will be ready to assume his duties. In the meantime, tend to the crew. Enjoy your celebrations. He paid for it in his own way.
Yes, he did. Thank you so much, Gungnir. I look forward to seeing Handyman again.
Oh, and by the way, she reaches into a compartment inside her chest and pulls out 4 unique uh, uh, tubes, cylinders, and she hands them over to you. Handyman pulled these from the main reactor. Any attempt to lift the ship off would have caused it to self-destruct. If the Sith attempted to steal our ride, they would have paid with their price.
Ah, I should have known that something like that was in place. I would have hated to see this ship destroyed, so I'm glad it didn't come to that.
The Gungnir is not a ship we can afford to allow to fall into enemy hands. Its secrets are still vast that even the captain doesn't know all of them. The ship will be ready for departure. Give me time to tend to Handyman.
Absolutely. And she turns to leave.
And she'll put them back in. She'll put the cylinders back in her chest compartment and go back to work on Handyman.
Okay. Tassara will send a message via her comm link giving everybody the update that Handyman is being worked on by Gungnir and should be back up and running soon. And then I think Tassara will likely head to her room and like have a nap because she's tired.
Sarah, you don't get your head on your pillow for more than a minute before there's a knock on the door.
She gets up and goes to get it. Open the door.
It's Lene with her kitten.
Lena.
Sorry, Lena. It's Lena with her kitten.
What is your kitten all right?
Yes.
Oh, come in.
No, it's okay. I've been voted to deliver a message.
Well, that sounds ominous. Go ahead.
She laughs. No, not that kind of message.
Oh, we're losing you, dude.
In a crowd with everything going on, but we wanted to tell you, all of us, thank you for watching over us. Yes?
Mike,
Yeah.
you cut out really badly for like the first couple of sentences. So can you rewind
Yep.
and play?
Yep. It's not that kind of message, she says, laughing. We wanted to tell you, all of us wanted to tell you, thank you for watching over us.
Of course.
And she turns and walks away with her kitten in hand.
Hisara smiles. Thank you, Lena.
You're welcome. So what's
And
sorry.
nope, she goes back to bed to try and continue her nap.
So what's Durro and Hodge doing?
Each other, of course.
Oh my god. She's gone red again.
Okay, that gift's coming back up.
No, I had already posted it in text chat by the fire. I know you can't.
Okay, so he can't, but I will. In all seriousness, he loves Hodge, but he is the captain. He's going to go check on the ship and ensure everything is in working order so that they can depart. She expects nothing less and is glad to give up command, knowing that she'll see him later. And she goes to speak to Krisk now that everything is calmed down and they can have a conversation without screaming at each other like a couple of sarcats. And according to this, Krisk is with Kraska and Astra.
All right, well, we'll start that scene with Krisk and Astra first, and then move from there.
Certainement.
Well, I need to go to bed in 10 to 15 minutes because I have work in the morning.
Okay. Well, you're walking the ship.
Yes, indeed. So I can bow out at any time. If you guys want to keep playing until 3 a.m., that's fine.
I leave that up to the party. I am on the road.
I'm up all night, so you don't want my vote because it's always yes.
Mike, is there anything that Durro would find on the ship while he's walking around?
I'll message it to him so that he can decide on what he wants to reveal or not.
Sounds good.
All right, so I guess it would start with Chris talking to Kraska. I want to know everything that happened.
It was horrible, Papa. We tried to run, but they found us and brought us took us back.
Back to where? I know they took you off the ship. I thought I lost you.
Back to the place of the fountain.
Okay, add a character. Is this a reference I should know?
No.
Okay. I don't understand. Was this a place on their ship? Was it somewhere else? What did they do to?
I don't know. I know it's somewhere near a large, beautiful garden. I know it's where Mama went.
Where Tajia went?
He nods.
Chris would go ahead and pull Karaska close and hold him. For now, that's enough. Guessing this is about the point when Astra is knocking on the door, or Hodge?
Come on, Astra.
Krisk.
He looks up.
I'm assuming this is your son?
He nods.
Hi. And she'll look back at Chris. Are you going to be joining us?
We are.
Oh,
There's,
fun.
there's not much left here for us.
I see. Well, the other little girls do classes. Kraska's would be welcome to join them.
I think that would be a good idea.
How are you doing?
I don't know. This is a lot to take in.
Understandable.
Seems everybody made it one piece. Well,
Yes. And your people are spared.
most of them, anyway.
Yes, a good portion.
Suppose there's some things that we need to talk about then.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Oh, I said I suppose there's things we need to talk about then.
I just came to see how you were, and also because I was curious.
Oh, would you like to meet him? He turned, loosening his hug on his son. Kraska, this is Astra.
I know. We've met before.
He looks a little puzzled.
On the shuttle, right?
No,
Hmm.
by the font. You told me not to cry, that everything would be okay, that I would be with my father again.
Astra looks genuinely confused.
I suppose that means you met a reflection. There are actually two of them.
He looks confused.
I'm not even sure how to explain it.
Um,
She saved me from the serpent in the water.
serpent.
I don't.
Don't you remember?
What place are you talking about? I
This isn't the same Astra that you met. There are two of them.
But Papa, I saw her.
Yes, but there's more than one of me.
How
There's
can there be more than one of you?
some very bad people made another version.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Thank you. Think of them as twins.
Oh,
They're-
like sisters.
yes, reflections of the same.
She was kind. I was scared. She gave me this, and she reaches in and pulls out a trinket Frisk is very familiar with.
She gave that to you.
She told me to be strong, that you were doing everything in your power to come get me, to free me, that you are sending heroes for me.
Kind of shell shocked here. That I'm not sure that's a good thing or bad thing seeing that pendant right now. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
Krisk, are you okay?
I gave this to her to protect her.
She said that it would protect me and see me back to you. She
She was
spoke.
right.
She spoke to the woman in white. The and
Her name's Eshe, the woman in white.
uh, and he speaks in a language that Kriska is very familiar with. The word he utters is demon.
Okay. Chris
She
nods.
told she told the woman in white told the other people that I was to be taken somewhere else and to be told to wait.
Seems like it was a very rough experience. Are you okay talking about it?
She was kind. She walked me through the corridors, told me stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories of a man like me, well, like Mama, and that that he said that he would help you. He looks to Ashra that he would help all of us if we knew that we should look for him.
Are you talking about Durro, my master, the male that was on the shuttle with us?
No, he's a great hero. She said that his name is Mithron Ororo.
I don't recognize that name. I'm saying that in character.
I don't recognize it either. Well, it's someone I could look into at some point.
No, he nods. Papa, I'm tired. It's been very tiring.
He nods. Get some rest. I'll be close by.
Thank you, Papa. And he goes and finds a place to lay down in the hangar deck.
Oh, I thought we were actually in the room that Hodge converted.
I'm sorry, I missed that part. Then he'll lay down on the bed.
That works.
And at this point, Hodge will walk in.
She'll won't actually just walk in. She will make her presence known at the outside of the door.
All right, we'll be making our way out of the room anyway if he's going to go lay down.
Okay. Came to say thank you.
Why?
For two reasons. The first was because you stood where you didn't have to. I understand why you did it, but I'm still grateful. And the second one is for encouraging me.
Only said what needed to be said. It's always been inside of you.
You kept my head on when I had lost it, and I'm grateful.
To be fair, I
I-
think we both lost our heads, so we should be thanking each other. Thank you.
Fair enough. She'll peek in the room. I'm glad to see you also have something to live for.
That I do.
And she'll nod at him, and she'll look at Astra and reach over without preamble and give the young Jedi a hug, a very tight, very genuine hug, and say, I'm so glad you're home.
Astral hug her back. I'm glad we're all home.
I'm guessing this is a custom among them, so I'll grab them both and give them a hug too.
Astra's gonna giggle like.
Sure she's not meowing?
Hutch will make a slightly strangled noise and shoot a glance at the big man with a rather startled look on her face.
Set him down, look at him confused. Well, everybody else is doing it.
Astral turn and hug him back.
Hutch will take a step back.
Usually we give some kind of a warning before doing that.
More serious note, we have some things we need to address.
Such as?
You took the words out of my mouth. There are several things that we'll need to discuss. Not the least of which is to ensure your fitness for duty and to discuss whether or not you want to undergo the procedure to have this implantation done. I would avoid signing anything that Handyman gives you once he is fully operative. Fully reading it first.
As long as it keeps him safe, I'll pay the price.
Understood. I'll leave you to your son, your reunion, and your peace. You've earned it, if nothing else. Rest now, knowing that we no longer have anything to worry about. Plan to do the same. And she'll nod at both of them and turn on her heel and head toward the cargo bay to oversee the removal of the drones and make sure that they are taken off the frigate before we leave Atmo.
Chris, you gonna tell her about what you learned?
Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and put that out. Sorry, I'm trying to recall names here.
Did I lose you guys?
No, sorry, kids downstairs. I'm trying to type.
Oh. Can somebody read it to me once he's done typing?
Chris will tell them about the interaction with Eshe, the hero, and Taja.
Ball's in your court, Hodge.
She's going to go to the oversee the removal of the drones from the frigate.
Wait,
To put
no. He stopped you.
Did he?
Yeah, before you left, he stopped you. He said he wanted to tell you about what he learned.
I thought
And
he was
then
telling. I thought he was telling Astra.
Asher was there, heard the whole conversation.
Both of you are there. Sorry, kiddo's downstairs, so I'm doing like 3 things at once right now.
We can pause for a few minutes.
No, it's fine. I can keep going typing. Yes, dear.
Oh, just don't yell at her again.
Okay, she'll stop and turn around to listen to that conversation.
Remember, I can't see what's being typed.
Kroshka had some very disturbing encounters while he was on the ship. There are things that he spoke of that I don't understand. Serpents in the water. A name. Someone we're supposed to find.
Mithran Yorodo was the name.
Why are we supposed to find this person?
I don't know. He spoke to a woman in white, and she said many things about him.
Just clarification, that woman was the same woman that gave Kroska the pendant, the same woman that saved him from the water serpent, the same woman who wears Astra's face.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. He spoke to the other Astra, and she told him that this is what we need to find.
This mithril what?
Mithran.
Mithran.
Right, out of character, I don't know the full name. That's what I can do. I'm sure Duro's over in the corner going, "Oh, please stop!"
Mithran
Actually,
Yorodo.
it's the chat is full of exactly that. Nuruodo. Is that Nuruodo?
Mithran Nurudo.
Sounds Japanese. There's more than one T in it, so it's apparently a Thron.
Yeah, we'll go with Thrawn for short, at least for dialogue, so that we don't spend the whole night talking the name.
So we don't spend the night spitting into our mics. Spitting at our mics, depending on, whether or not he gets back in time.
Speak for yourself. I'm the only one. I'm saying his name right. Thank you.
Keep in mind, my character's supposed to have a fork tongue, so it's more like me. Thrawn.
Oh my god.
The Thrawn dude.
Speaking with the, it's Thrawn. Okay, yeah, back in the character here.
Yeah, hang on. So now we have a third objective, likely in a different part of the galaxy, to try and figure out before we go after the swarm. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you what he told me. After he's rested, maybe he'll be willing to tell us some more.
I can try searching the force for him, but I can't guarantee any results.
Let's leave that for another time. For now, it's time to rest up. We don't know what happens tomorrow.
I agree.
There is there was something glossed over. I'm curious on Hodge's reaction to that. Clone Astra saved this young boy from, air quote, the water serpent. I didn't catch Hodge's reaction to that revelation.
Because there wasn't one. She sort of took that in stride at buzz level. I honestly, it slipped past the character or past the player, rather. And is at best it will get an eyebrow. And no further reaction in front of Kreesk. But when Kreesk says, and we should rest and whatever, I assume he turns back in to go into his son's quarters, or into his quarters with his son.
I was pausing for now to see what Traveler was gonna say.
Well, it's kind of y'all scene. Whatever you three want to do.
I think this would be a good point for Chris to step back until we actually have a full group to talk with this, and Kraska is up and rested. Be more just kind of savor what little victory we got today, because it was a huge step.
Okay.
If Kreesk steps back, then Hodge will fall in step with Astra. Did you hear him say that clone Astra was on board?
Yes. I did. I have a feeling that Master Thaltanis was unable to negotiate for her release.
So then she's still on board, and she'll point off into the atmosphere. That
Yes. At least as far as I know.
then today is not the victory that we anticipated.
Oh?
The Queen got what she wanted, did she not?
Possibly, but the precaution are saved, and we are all alive.
And what of Quinn? The reason we were here was in order for you to deal with your fears of your ex. Was your interaction with Voss successful?
I never interacted with him directly, but I don't think it was him that I needed to speak to.
Why do you say that?
My conversation with the Queen was quite enlightening. Not only that, but she helped me use my sight ability to go see Raza. And we ended up jumping to a few other places on accident.
Did you change anything?
I don't think so. At least as far as I know, I didn't.
As far as you know.
We saw a vision of Quinn attacking Clone Astra in Durro's quarters. I asked the Queen to stop him, and she did. She also promised that she would have mercy on him the next time he failed her, which she's interpreted as cutting a part of him off and leaving it on the deck.
You see Hodge smile, nasty, vindictive smile that you don't normally see cross her countenance.
And Astro glare at Hodge for the briefest of moments.
She will regain her composure at the glare and continue as if nothing else happened. I take it by your return that some alliance has been formed. We only heard half the conversation.
It appears so. I know that as the Queen was getting ready to throw us off of her ship, Master Thaltanis said, "Fine, you can have Astra." I got removed from the room, and I'm not exactly sure what the rest of the conversation had, but she let us both leave peacefully.
We'll take that win. One less creature at our back that we need to worry about for now.
Yes, for now.
And just a thought, maybe in the future, we don't spread ourselves so thin.
That would
It
be
was
smart.
it was so hard with you both being so far away, with Tassara being unable to help. I know everyone was in exactly where the place they needed to be in order to make this real. Ships overhead. That moment. You see her just pale. You see her go very pale for a moment.
You mean them preparing to bombard the planet and destroy the Prakash?
Would not have only been the Prakash, Astra.
You're right, it wouldn't have.
Tassara, the girls, me, Krisk. The fact that he's been reunited with his son is a miracle. The fact that any of us are here is a testament to Durro's ability to negotiate our savior, our safe release.
Yes, I probably shouldn't have doubted him the way I did, but it wouldn't have been the first time he didn't listen to a warning I gave and everything went sideways.
To a win in the end. How are we not to trust that it was supposed to go sideways to begin with so that we could get here now?
Good point.
It's rubbing off on me, your master. I find myself thinking in ways I had not only a few months ago. If you'll excuse me, I have only had a few snippets of rest in the last few days. I have work that I need to accomplish before I can lay my head down, and I'm in desperate need of that. I'm headed to the cargo bay. I want to get those drones off the frigate before we take off. They're going to come in handy later. I just have a feeling it's going to eat into our training area, but I think it's worth it. You're welcome to help me if you want.
Sure, I'll help.
And we'll head off to go take care of that business.
Yep.
Does Thora want to do or say anything at all? Thora, you're cruising the ship, and you're if you're even still on, and you need to go to bed.
I do need to go to bed, but I was staying on to listen.
Yeah, not much to do rest with Chris right now. I'm actually battling a headache right now. 2 screaming girls having a lot of fun, and yeah.
Oh, that's not fun. Pupper, you're gonna wait 2 minutes.
So is that everything then? Are we all done for the night?
I think so.
I mean, I'm waiting for my wife to get off, but if you guys want to call it here, we can call it here.
Sounds like everybody is fading, quite honestly.
Yeah. Nova, if you can go up to my room and shut down the record, pretty please. It's amazing gift of a rabbit.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Little birdies. Oh, there they are.
I have a random question.
Have a random answer.
How long has it been since the last time Astra did Farseeing? Because I don't remember.
I don't know.
I know she had done it too soon to use it aboard the Queen's ship, so less than a week ago.